Australia's coal exports are one of the most significant contributors to climate change globally. Mr Acting Deputy President, it's very timely for us to be drawing this matter to the attention of the chamber, because last week Mr Bill Shorten claimed in relation to the Adani mega coal mine that the emissions that would be created by that mine are not Australia's problem, because they wouldn't be on our books because of complicated international carbon accounting. Well, we call BS on that, and the Australian public knows it. What an absolute joke to completely wash his hands of any leadership on this mega coal mine and on the opening up of what would be the first coal basin to be opened up in 50 years. Australia is the world's biggest coal exporter, and sadly both sides of politics are very happy with that situation and would like to see it continue. All the while, the international science gets clearer and sharper and frankly more terrifying with every instalment that they give us. We are cooking our planet. We are sending ourselves to extinction, let alone all of the other species that we share this place with. So that's why we are moving today to debate this matter. And it's very interesting. I moved a motion just earlier calling on both parties to take a stand on the Adani mega coal mine and to simply say that it should not proceed. Because Labor have been very tricky about this, to be perfectly honest. They keep saying how clear their position is, and that they keep being deliberately unclear. They're saying that it shouldn't be publicly funded, but they're not ever saying whether they will actually step in and stop this mine from proceeding. Now, it's perfectly clear we have legal advice, we had agreement from the government yesterday in question time. There are 3 ways that this mine could be stopped, even using our current incredibly weak environmental laws. And I say that as an environmental lawyer. I know this stuff. If Mr Bill Shorten and his party actually wanted to take a stand on climate change, he could come out today and say that he will review the environmental approvals that have been given to the Adani Carmichael coal mine on the basis of a litany of new information that's come to light since those approvals were granted. That is a formal trigger under our environmental laws to review that approval. It could be reviewed and it then could be revoked. So that's your first option. There are a number of other options. They could simply deny the groundwater management plan. It hasn't yet been approved by Queensland Labor. It hasn't yet been approved by the Federal Environment Minister. Either of those people could simply acknowledge that more than half of Queensland is in drought and not give free groundwater to an international coal company when half of Queensland is on fire from extreme weather events driven by climate change. And of course, the last way that this mine could be stopped would be to not grant approval for their water pipeline. Again, 12.5 billion litres that they want to take from surface water, in addition to unlimited free groundwater. Why is this mega coal mining company, with a history and a track record of appalling environmental practices and breaches of environmental conditions, why are they getting free water when more than half the state is in drought and when farmers are desperate to use their water allocations? Why also are they getting a 4-year royalty holiday? The favours just keep on coming for this international, multinational coal company, and you've got to wonder why. If you look at the donations that have been made by the resources sector, including coal mining companies, including the Adani companies, it tells a very interesting story. It's $3.4 million that have been donated to both sides of politics over the last 4 years. So is it any wonder why we see not a single spine on either side of this chamber when it comes to standing up for a safe climate, for a healthy future for our kids, for a prosperous economy based on clean energy, which we know generates more jobs and won't cook the other half of the Great Barrier Reef. We've already seen 50% of the coral cover of the reef die. The science is clear. It is being driven by climate change and extreme weather events. We are now in a climate crisis, and both of these big parties are sleepwalking into worse damage to our communities, to our economy, to our very social fabric, to nature itself. They are sleepwalking into this because they are both completely in hock to the coal mining industry. They are hooked on the donations that this industry makes, and they should be ashamed of themselves. It's about time we saw a position from Labor on this, and indeed we were given one today when they voted to block my motion and instead voted to say that Adani should proceed. Well, shame on you. The Australian public don't want this mine to proceed, and I, for one, will be joining them in the non-violent direct action that they will take to stop this mine ever going ahead.
Thank you.